And it's live. Hello. Welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are your first choice for Australian Transformers news, of course, aren't we? I'm not sure if we're actually the only choice, but that makes us number one by default. This is episode 105. We are recording live on April 28th, 2017. I am your host for the week. I'm Jason. Joining me tonight, we have Max and Mikey. How are you doing, guys?
Oh, just doing all right, thank you, Jason. Been at the Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair last weekend, running the TCA store, which was an excellent day all round. And other than that, basically just been working all week, so been all right.
Yeah, tell me about it. And yeah, even though it's so this is the Anzac Day week. I guess it's Anzac week. Lest we forget. And I think it's been a bit of a tough slog in the workplace for some of us this week because you end up with a day that you go to work on Monday and then you don't go to work on Tuesday, and it feels like a little mini weekend, and then you have 3 days to do all your work for the rest of the week. So
yeah. I mean, I'm thankful for day off, especially I went and did an Anzac vigil over Anzac Eve, so
very nice. Yeah,
that I was certainly thankful to having the day off on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, especially if you are getting up super early and going to the dawn services as well.
Dawn services, yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, at the Anzac Vigil, you have to. It's where everyone from a whole bunch of different sort of youth organisations stands around War Memorial for from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Oh right,
okay. So basically, you just don't sleep for that entire period, and so it's like a symbolic thing of standing vigil over War Memorial. It's a pretty great thing to do, so I recommend, if you haven't done it at some point in your life, it's at least worth checking out.
Yeah, my sister lives in London and goes to so they have a dawn service in London as well. So she has been known to get the kids out of bed super early and go to that and annoy the rest of the family, but for a good cause. So yeah. So it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on. I had a few things I needed to attend to last week. How are you guys going? What's been happening besides obviously all the Anzac Day shenanigans? Any Transformers related fun going on this week?
Well, there's been a little bit. I mean, of course, I was at a toy fair the other day, so what can you do except look for plastic?
Lucky. I wish we had more of those things here. Like, you'd think there'd be more here than like really anywhere else, but like we don't get that much.
I suppose the thing with Sydney is that it's such a big city, so there's a few on, but you have to go absolutely all over the place to get there.
I think so. So we have Collectomania that's on every 3 months.
True. Yeah. Okay.
But Collectomania is not really a convention thing. It is more just a sales thing. Like the same guys rock up to Collectomania every 3 months with the same stock, and if it doesn't sell, they pack it up and take it home.
But we also do. What's that other one that's run by just a small guy that does it? I can't remember.
So there are a couple of little events around Sydney. So PopCon PopCon is a monthly pop culture event out in Parramatta. It's on a bit of a hiatus at the moment. And Anime at Abbotsford has a fairly regular get-together as well, but I'm not sure that. I think that's more of a cosplayer and fan convention rather than actual sales and things like that. So I don't know how much Transformers stuff you'll expect to see there. And of course, if you're aware of other events that are going on around Australia, not just Sydney, like Mikey and I are from Sydney, so we know Sydney.
Biased.
But like if there are other events that we should talk about and maybe attend, do drop us a line.
Let us know.
There's a feedback address in the show notes for the podcast.
And Supernova's coming up, and I'm really excited about that. Not for a Transformers reason, but for the fact of 2 of the stars from Stranger Things are going to be there. So I'm going to be there.
So so TCCA will be there.
Even better. There you go. Transformer related.
Michael and I will be on the TCCA table at Supernova in Sydney. Supernova Melbourne is on. As we record this on a Friday night, Supernova Melbourne is on this weekend, starting tomorrow.
Wow.
That's actually why Brad is not here. He's helping Simon prep the displays and packing his collection up, because most of the time, if you see Brad at a convention and there are Transformers around, they are his collection that he's ripped off his own shelves, packed up, and Yeah, some of the toys do. Some of the toys do suffer for the.
Yeah, I know. He's
for
a
the
very
art.
brave guy for doing that, getting all of his
Very
personal
true.
stuff, you know. They really spread those supernovas out, don't they? Because ours, I believe, is in September.
So what they do, they do 2 supernovas at a time. So basically, they'll get stars out for a run. I think they do 3 runs, and they'll do one city one weekend, the next city the next weekend, and then they'll go. So they'll entertain the stars for the week in Australia, and take them to SeaWorld and probably not Dreamworld these days. Take them to a bunch of places and do some speaking engagements and stuff. Speaking, so last thing before we actually get to Transformers, and this might be related to Supernova. I don't know. Did you hear that Jeff Goldblum was in Sydney this week?
No.
No.
That's why. Where did you get that from?
Did you hear that Jeff Goldblum was in Sydney and randomly handing out sausages to people on the street? I think like cooked snags from a barbecue.
Right. Well,
good for him.
I don't know. Maybe he's going to be at Supernova Melbourne this weekend. I don't know. Maybe that's why he.
Maybe he just really likes a good sausage. You never know.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does.
The sausage he loves.
I mean, I know they filmed the new Thor movie in Sydney, so maybe he just fell in love with it.
That's actually quite a good point, because Jeff Goldblum is in fact in Thor Ragnarok. He's if you keep up with the Planet Hulk comics, he's essentially the ringmaster of the Gladiator games on Planet Sakaar. So yeah,
something new.
He was a very surprising face to turn up in the Ragnarok trailer, which, by the way, was really good. And also, by the way, and speaking of Marvel things that were really good, how many of us have seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Oh, that was bloody excellent.
Mikey has not. I can see by the hanging of his head in shame. So we will just say that it was bloody good, and I enjoyed it a lot. And
it's fun. It's just
definitely looking forward to it, because I mean the first one just blew everyone away. I mean, yeah, it did. And that's the one Marvel movie that I can just sit and enjoy, and it's just again and again. It's like it doesn't get old for me, that one.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this one, because it looks quite funny from the trailers and it looks quite good. So yeah.
Fantastic.
My opinion.
We might talk about it a little bit more next week after you've seen it. I'm going to assume that you'll see it this week.
I will try my dandiest.
Okay. Without further ado, I am going to.
You said do.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to flip this on, and we're going to go to some news.
The
news is very heavy on. Look, if you're not a movie fan, you're probably going to, I don't know, leap into the air and
disregard.
just try and swear at us or something. But there's going to be a lot.
Maybe fall into a coma for the next 6 months.
Oh, yeah, maybe a bit longer.
Yeah, it depends on how long. Depends how long the figures hang around on the shelves, which may be a point of our discussion later on about shelf warmers.
Yeah, well, maybe for a long time, given that they're apparently doing one of these a year now.
Oh, yay!
That is a good point. Yeah.
Giant bumblebee.
The news is that Transformers: The Last Night figures have started turning up at Australian retail shelves. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I think I can actually get that image to blow up a little bit more. Maybe I can't. And it looks like it's the same size. It's just now in the center.
I think it might have shrunk.
Open it in a new tab, and you can click on it.
You know what? It's cool.
That'll do. We can get the general idea.
Big thank you to Steve Watts for going into, I think it's his local Toys R Us, and popping this photo off. You can see so deluxe figures in the Last Night line are in fact boxed. They're not. They're no longer on the hang tags, which I think is actually probably a good move. We've been saying this for a while. When we get the Legends figures from Takara, the boxes are good because you can actually open the box and you don't have to damage it in order to open it. So you
can retain it for later use.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I'm pretty sure that you'll find that it's easier for them to ship these things out in boxes instead of having to balance up the wave assortments. So we've got some of the first Last Night deluxe figures visible on the store shelves there, and you can tell it's Toys R Us because there are in fact Takara Masterpiece figures on that shelf as well.
Well, I just saw this thing today, I should have taken a photo.
Toys R Us is I think Toys R Us is the only place that has the custom ticket stripping.
Maybe. Yeah.
Can you see it through this picture?
Yes, you can.
Oh, those.
Mind you, it's actually the old Transformers logo. So whatever. So
oh,
anyway,
that's right. Yeah, no.
so there's some new figures on Australian shelves. Mikey, you were saying that you'd seen them for $35, but we have seen them reported at $30 in the group for deluxes. So
Yep.
it's a little bit up in the air as to who's right about that. Someone's going to have to go out and do some shopping tomorrow, I think. And figure it out.
I mean,
I have seen reports from the US
places will offer it.
people having them ranging from like $15 to $20. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's what we got as well. Because I know I saw like the RAD Warriors for $35 at a few places around here. So,
well, okay, funny enough.
I know.
I'm in the Toys R Us today. I mean, I guess it's because it's new product. So I look at the new deluxes; they're $35. Then I go over to like the Warrior stuff and the Titans Return stuff, and it's $30 to $25. I think maybe even the RAD stuff might be $25, but definitely $30. So there's a definite price rise just for this, maybe just the first assortment, but like it was $35. They had like the dinosaur dude, the Berserker Barricade, and that Bumblebee, and yeah, just all for $35. They even had a little sticker on them said $35. So yeah,
I'd say
what the bloody Voyagers are going to be.
Yeah, well, look, they'll probably be 55. Even at this distance, Bumblebee is quite recognizable, but the others are a little bit more difficult to tell. And now, Mikey, you said that having had a look at some of these up close, you were less impressed with the paint job than we have been in the last few weeks talking about them on the podcast.
Yep. Well, I mean, to be fair, the Dinobot is nice because they've basically done all that chrome stuff all over him, so they didn't just like piece it off in sections. The Bumblebee is just what I find ridiculous is just another Age of Extinction Bumblebee just with less paint for a higher price. So
he looks like a dude wearing just like bright yellow pants. There's no paint.
Yeah,
on his
exactly.
body.
There's like nothing. It's like paint your own Bumblebee, except it doesn't come with paint to paint it with. So Berserker looks good, a little bit, like weird in some sections, like the weird painted nails, which I don't know, I find that cool but weird at the same time. But Barricade is the standout.
Yeah,
but I
think most people have been saying that as well. He's both in terms of just the mold and the paint, he really does look like one of the highlights of the line so far.
I really hate the plastic they decided to go with for the weapons, like that beige kind of plastic. I'd rather more of a gun, like more of a silver or gray, not this weird. And then there's also some of that on the figure as well. So it's like it just stands out. So that's the only thing that I can kind of take a gripe with. But the molding on it is like really good.
Yeah, you look at that Berserker figure, and he's got that sort of crappy Hasbro beige plastic for pretty much his entire torso.
Let's go back to the price point for a minute. Now, I think that what you might actually find is these first deluxe figures, being that they are boxed and everything, they are meant to be a little bit special, and it's not necessarily that they're actually special in terms of like their paint applications or the particular quality of the figure. They're just the first ones that got released. And so that might explain the slight uplift in price. We had been hearing about this from the States earlier in the year. Maybe we'll end up with more standard deluxes as we move closer to the range, but I don't know. I can't say that I'm really that bothered by the box design or anything like that. I
love the box. I think the boxes are. Yeah, no, I think it's. I've never really liked. Yeah, again, for the having to cut the thing open, and then you can't really have much resale value with box for a deluxe, But with this, it's just a box. You can just cut the tape, and then it's open. You can take it out, and it just looks.
I'd like it if they got rid of the twisty ties as well, but other than that,
I mean, that's
nice
just
to feel like packaging.
That's just security for. I mean, so that people know it's not been opened and tampered with, and also that they know it's a new product, I guess. But also to not move around in the box, I guess, as well.
I suppose so, but then you look at Hasbro's other main lines where you have these sort of like Star Wars Black Series and Marvel Legends, where they have these same style of boxes, and it's just the bubble which the figure sits inside the box. There's no twisty ties or anything, and that holds it in just fine. So I'm not sure why they...
Again, the twist ties, if nothing else, it just proves that like, I mean, when I bought my Fort Max from Big W, the box was damaged to all hell. I'm just like, I ain't buying that before I have a look inside. So they cut open the tape, and it was clearly retaped. So someone went in there for some reason. I don't know why. But I opened it up and I saw the twist ties were on it and all that. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll purchase that. But like, I don't think I'd be that certain if they didn't have the twist ties on it. I'm just like, am I sure that all the things are there, all the parts with it, or but it does look ugly, yeah. But again, it's just for security and just make sure that you get your figure, really.
Yeah, so just looking at. I'm just looking at my WhatsApp chat. There is actually a launch event happening in Singapore tonight for the Last Night toys, and they're basically the same toys that we've got appearing on our retail shelves. But I think there might be a few new ones up the top, unless they're RIDs. But yeah, so the Singapore price of these is in fact Voyagers for $35, and Deluxes for $35. Don't have a heart attack, Mikey. Deluxe is $35, and the Voyager price is in fact $60.
Oh my! Oh, okay, no, I'm not buying anything from that line.
Yeah, and Singapore dollars pretty much one to one Australian dollar.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Bloody.
Look, to be fair, we have had it pretty good for a little while. Like, our
why
prices,
must it end?
Our prices have stayed relatively stable for a while, despite the Aussie dollar plummeting.
Oh yeah, it's just terrible.
But I would just hazard that we still do get some really good item sale prices. So if you're not happy with the price of the toys, wait a bit, or go vote with your wallet and buy them online.
And you're not gonna. Prime is not gonna be. You're assured that you're gonna get this Prime because Prime is gonna be brought out, and then although everyone's gonna get him, they're gonna keep stocking these Primes. So like that's the standout for the line for me so far. So I mean, I'm gonna wait until it drops at least to the normal price.
So which Prime are you talking about?
The Voyager.
Voyager Prime. Okay, yeah, cool. It'll go. I'm sure it'll go on sale.
Yeah, I saw a review of him and he's really good except for the paint. But we can't be winners on all those fronts.
All right, let's move on. We do have a little bit of movie news to talk about. There's not actually a hell of a lot of news this week, so I don't know. I don't think it's going to take us that long. But there's been a few scenes and screen caps released this week, along with some articles in the press just leading up to the release of the movie. So we thought this one in particular was pretty interesting, showing Megatron seemingly having a meeting with some humans who are seated at a table and seemingly having a very nice formal discussion with the leader of the evil Decepticons.
Yeah. With his giant sword axe.
In the middle of a desert, mind you.
Yeah, true.
They've brought these tables all the way out here.
So this came up during the week. This picture came up, and my immediate response was, "What is it with Megatron and deserts?" He likes to hang out in them.
Good deserts.
Someone surmised that perhaps it's that he doesn't like humans, and there's no humans in deserts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hates humans. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's a good bet. Yeah,
because in Dark of the Moon, I mean, he made his new base in the desert, so and he didn't like that human crawling on him. So yeah, I can safely say, and he flicked Michael Bay. Love that scene in the first movie where he's fighting Prime and then he falls to the ground. Michael Bay's like on his arm and then he flicks him off. That's like one of the highlights for the movie for me. And I didn't know it was him until I was told that's actually Michael Bay put himself in the movie there. I'm just like, that is quite funny. And that would have killed him, by the way, because he flicked him.
Yeah, well, there's been a few humans having altercations with Transformers in the movies that probably should have died but didn't. So,
more than one.
So yeah, we were talking about this earlier just before the show, and there is a little bit of speculation amongst the group that Megatron may end up being key to the survival of planet Earth. So if Prime is really the bad guy in this movie, then maybe the humans are going to try and get Megatron to stop him.
That would just make me so happy. It'd be, I think, not so much because of the originality of the plot, because in ODW they got the whole thing of Prime's getting more and more evil, Megatron's getting more and more altruistic.
Sympathetic, I think, is the word for Megatron.
Yeah,
and then. So it's not like an original plot, but to do it in the movie, which is this thing that's watched, his franchise watched by millions of people worldwide. Like, it's become such a staple of the culture over the past decade, and to shift that up is amazing.
I think there's been an increasing tendency to tell the sympathetic story of the bad guy in not just in Transformers, but I mean, so we've seen origin stories for Hannibal Lecter on TV, and I think Bates Hotel was also, you know, the prequel series to Psycho, and there's an increasing tendency to want to sort of tell the story of these bad guys and see what makes them bad, and you know, try to get them to do something on the side of good for redemption. And so I wonder if that's what's going to happen here, but I also suspect that if that is the case, he's going to turn around and double cross them.
Oh, easy, yep. This Megatron's too evil. Like this one, yeah, I don't see any sympathy in this one. And I love his, like, the shot of this design. I just love how he looks.
So what actually does he transform into?
He turns into a
fighter
jet. It looks kind of similar to the first movie.
Yeah, except without, like, you know, the first movie was basically him lying down, spreading his legs to make a bloody jet, because his arms were like coming out of the side. Yeah,
it's sort of just a big T, you know. He's got
and then he has his
at the back and then a long nose cone.
Because why not? But this one's more of a streamlined. He has definite wings that don't look like kind of bat wings, and a more pointed nose cone type thing.
So here's the thing, right? I don't see that at all in this photo. Like, this design of Megatron, I don't see an alt mode in there at all.
What about Galvatron? Did you see his vehicle mode?
Yeah.
God, I hope he's not going to transform like that. That'll really piss me off. I hate that. The stupid little bits.
That is the thing with this movie and the last one, is that the designs, you know, they're really not focusing on trying to make them look like they transform. They're just trying to make cool looking robots.
Yeah, that's quite true. Like, I think they're sort of trying to cut back on the kibble that's hanging around the characters as well. But I think they're also making them end up looking like they're sort of a suit of armor rather than an actual transforming robot.
Yeah, that's funny because, like, the first movie, they're very their designs are very like spaced apart, like in like their.
I really don't. I don't like the original designs. These are much more interesting, but I feel like they've gone a little bit too far with some of these as well. Anyway,
this is more like closed.
We've overanalyzed this photo enough. Let's move on to another one that we can overanalyze now.
Megatron Tea Party.
Okay. So Entertainment Weekly this week published an article on Hot Rod in the last night, and some of his backstory and perhaps a little bit of his personality. And so this gives us a little bit of a look into how things are gonna work in the movie and what the lay of the land is. Hot Rod is described as a covert agent who has been secretly serving as Anthony Hopkins' character's daughter's protector in the guise of her father's 1963 Citroen car, Citroen DS. Now,
okay.
I'm not so sure that the bits on him look like that's still his alt mode in this case. We'll see.
Well, he was going to be the triple changer that had instead like two car modes, wasn't he?
Yeah, they said that it was. I think they initially described it as a triple changer. So they haven't confirmed whether or not that's going to be he turns from a Citroen into a Lamborghini, or it's just like Bumblebee in the first movie.
That doesn't really seem like it's much of a triple changer ability. Like, surely he'd just rescan a new form.
Yeah,
that's probably what they probably just misworded it.
Yeah. So Citroen. This is the thing. The Citroen is a bit of a rickety old car. So I don't know. Apparently she can't part with the car because she adores it, and so it seems like he's probably not got that much of a connection to the Autobot team, at least in the beginning. I'm sure he'll hook up with the Autobots somewhere along the way. At the time that the article was written, there was apparently no voice actor attached, but when people saw parts of the movie recently, they reported that there was indeed a voice for Hot Rod. So whether that was a temporary voice or they have indeed cast a voice actor and just not really told us who, we will find out in probably about 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up.
The movie comes out. It is coming up pretty fast.
The thing I don't get about this guy, I sometimes can't decide where his eyes are, because like I think they're the blue things that are like more than halfway down his head, but then there's also things above those that look like they could be his eyes.
You look like you're thinking it looks like he has a visor.
He looks like it looks like he has a visor. Yeah, I guess, but like his eyes are way too down on his head. I don't know.
I don't know. Like the visor looks like a forehead. Yeah,
I was thinking maybe a beret because the French guy. But that'd be really
well,
weird.
so yeah, there was a discussion over whether or not Hot Rod appears to be French in the movie. Obviously, his alt mode being a Citroen. Yeah. So if he is French, what's his like? Why would he turn into a Lamborghini?
Is there looks cool and
Lamborghini
paid Paramount some money.
Is there a French supercar? I don't know if there is.
Citroen makes supercars.
No, yeah.
All right, we've come up blank.
Actually,
because that's definitely that's an Italian make there. So,
yeah, well, the Citroen, I forget the name of it, but it's like the C1 of a GT. It looks exactly like this Lambo.
Was Citroen is this the same Citroen that made those ads about that transforming car that danced?
Actually, I think it might have been.
Yeah, that's some foreshadowing there. How many years? That was even probably for the first movie. I love those ads. That was such a clever ad.
This is a slightly more advanced Transformer.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
so do you think Hot Rod's actually going to be in a position to replace Bumblebee? You know, Hot Rod's often seen as the Bumblebee replacement. Especially once you get into Energon and Armada when Hotshot takes over.
Yeah, gotta hope so.
Hotshot's like a merger between them. Like that character was weird. Yeah, if we do get rid of Bumblebee, I see this guy possibly taking over. Hopefully this guy has a voice and isn't annoying.
Bearing in mind, on the subject of getting rid of Bumblebee, the solo outing for Bumblebee next year is a prequel, so they can still kill him. We'll see how we go.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, let's move on.
No one has connection to that character. Like what? Nah.
So one lucky poster does appear to have gotten hold of the Squeaks deluxe figure, who does seem to come with a base for sitting on and possibly storing weapons in. And they've posted some pictures of him in hand.
I love it. It turns into a little extension to his what do you call it? The scooter mode. That's great. It's an interesting looking. It's okay. Well, look at that. He's got 2 gimp arms. He doesn't.
Yeah, his arm is
that's pretty
interchangeable.
So we did know this already from looking at Squeaks. His arms did look like they were formed mainly from the handlebars of the bike.
Yeah.
The scooter, and so we've been saying for the last few weeks that the paint jobs look a little bit more detailed on these figures than we are used to seeing from Hasbro and the deluxe line, and you can see the paint job sort of purporting to be rust on this figure. Mikey, you commented earlier that it does look like someone has just smeared poo.
but at least there's some poo on it, you know. I mean, it's better than no poo, you know.
I will grant you that. Yes, that's true. So there's a bit of
molding looks good. I mean, interesting little dude.
The molding does look good. Looking at this gun, actually reminds me of Fix-It in RID because it does look like it's kind of armed to the teeth.
Oh, that's great. It'll just be one of the scenes in the movie. It'll just be defenseless. Maybe even that scene where Megatron, like we've seen him like holding him by the head, he'll just get this arm out and blow his face off or something. Like that would redeem this. I mean, I already know I'm going to hate this character, but if he does that, that's going to redeem it for me. And I think those arms are stored in his little red toolbox, which is pretty ingenious.
Maybe. It doesn't look like the toolbox sort of flips open. There's his alt mode and
Squeaksimus Prime.
Looks like he's got an esky.
Yes, it's a giant esky. Yep, that's it.
What's this giant piece of metal that's sitting out in front of him? They couldn't store it inside the.
Is that part of
esky?
It? Or is that just another piece from this collection?
Don't know. Maybe it is just part of the.
I'm guessing they're going to try and, if he's going to come with something he's towing, I'm guessing they're going to try and implement like putting everything in it.
So here's a question for you. Squeaks, it looks quite detailed. Is he going to be a buy or a pass? Is it going to depend on his characterization in the movie?
Yeah, look, I might fall in love with it when I see the movie and have to track down this figure. But as it stands, it looks good. This is, I'm surprised they could get this design looking as well as it does in figure form, but it just doesn't hold any appeal at all.
Because so his arms are right there. But like I swore we saw a photo of this thing and like the little handlebars were sticking out where they shouldn't be. Anyway,
it does look like he has 4 handlebars because he appears to have handlebars for his arms, but you can also see them under his arms.
Yeah. Look, this is quite a funny little piece. So like, I mean, again, if he annoys the hell out of me in the movie, no way in hell. But it's so different, I guess, because whenever we've got like a bike like Transformer, we've never had really anything to like, because he's a deluxe, but they don't want to obviously make him as big as like a deluxe, so they gave him this little trailer thing, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a cool little novelty piece, so possibly, but I'm not going to pick him up for $35. I can tell you that much.
Okay, so let's move on. There is one last piece of movie news this week. They did officially announce and release press photos for the movie masterpiece Optimus Prime, which is the 4th movie masterpiece we are going to get this year. Its recommended retail price is $100 US, and he is a masterpiece version of the original 2007 movie Optimus Prime. So this is not Prime's look from the 2017 movie. You can pretty much see that and take that as a given. But it's nice to sort of see them bringing back particular designs.
Yeah, this is an interesting figure because obviously it looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
But there are a lot of different options that you have for your perfect movie Prime. Because you've got all those different Revenge of the Fallen leaders, which are ostensibly really similar mold to this, and you've got like your wagering primes as well, which which from all accounts are just fantastic. So, as for how much this is actually going to fill a hole in most people's collections, is a little bit here nor there. I personally see it as being, sort of the best of both worlds, just because of looking at the amount of paint this guy has, and the fact that for Revenge of the Fallen Prime, you can get ones of that do have this level of paint, but you're going to be paying like a couple $100 for it.
And also, he's got the limitation of having a giant battery pack in the middle of his stomach. So I don't think this one has lights and sounds. It doesn't look like it because of the.
No, and that's for the best, I reckon. He's also got the full suite of accessories.
Yeah. So I mean, he's also got. I'm glad they did this, and they should have done this for Masterpiece Prime. But the smokestacks can actually expand and retract. So because like, if this was to be released at the retail, like they hate having hard plastic smokestacks because they think kids are just going to gouge their eyes out with them for some reason. Or
I think that's actually more an attitude that Hasbro's taken in the US, where child safety is kind of serious business for some of their toys.
Oh yeah, and well, I guess this is a masterpiece. So I mean, I don't think your average kid's going to save up enough money for this one, especially if it's going to be about $150 Australian. But it looks.
No, cool. I'm not too fussed about it myself. I like the idea that they're doing this, and there's a big 10 years label on the packaging that you can see there as well, celebrating the 10th anniversary of the movie being released. But yeah, I don't really see myself picking it up. I didn't pick this figure up when it was a normal leader class.
This isn't. I saw a comparison. This isn't. This isn't sharing any parts with Revenge of the Fallen.
No, it's completely new.
So you're saying this is actually a completely new figure?
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't look it because the Revenge of the Fallen one is it's nearly perfect.
No, I don't think people are saying
is-
it's the Revenge of the Fallen one, but like Takara has released movie masterpiece figures previously that were in fact the Hasbro leader classes, just released as masterpiece.
Yeah, but the thing is, this and the new Bumblebee, these are both entirely new figures.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm still probably not going to buy it.
Yeah, just the plastic. Like, why they chose to do the weird, like the box art is perfect. Like, that's great coloring. But then you look at the figure, and then it's just got this really dark gray plastic for the gun and for like the inside of the arms and the legs and all that. Yeah, like it detracts from it because like the legs look really good, the painted silver and all that. And then you've just got, like, I'm pretty sure actually the legs are pretty much perfect, but it's just like the arms with that dark gray. It's just not good looking. Also, a thing this has that the other Prime doesn't have is looks to be at least one articulated finger. So
it looks like he's got multiple joints in each finger.
So that's
it
cool.
actually does make the point in the press release that he has articulated fingers.
There you go. And then also he's got the swiveling face, so you've got the mouth and the face plate, so you don't have to remove it, which is pretty cool. And he's got the Matrix and the two swords in the gun. So that's pretty much everything Movie 1 Prime did. And
looking a whole lot better.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. I mean, it looks leaps and bounds better than the first Movie Prime, because that thing, I never saw the appeal of that thing. I never got that one. That was just too clunky. But then Revenge of the Fallen was really nice, but I think this just steps up that one.
Yeah, I can definitely call this the best figure, at least from the look of it that they've put out so far.
Yep.
But for those who do own the Revenge of the Fallen one, like I could totally see why you wouldn't want to pick this up, because
because that thing,
they're two very similar figures.
Transformation's a bit of a pain on the Revenge of the Fallen one, though.
Yeah, and my guess is that this is what they were referring to when they said that Hisui was going to be working on a new movie line.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully it's going to have sort of that little masterpiece touch when it comes to a transformation.
Oh yeah. I think also his backpack seems to be mistransformed because it kind of looks pretty bad from that photo, at least. But
in the in-hand images, that it looked like just straight out of the movie. So it doesn't look anywhere near that bad in hand.
Yep. So I mean, this is cool. I love the big blades. The blades are pretty massive, and this is also another thing to say. It's not the Revenge of the Fallen mold. It doesn't have the flip-out blades on the arms. They're completely separate pieces now.
Yeah. So do we know that this figure is actually coming to Australia?
No, they haven't confirmed either of them that I've seen. But I have to assume that at least Toys R Us will be.
Toys R Us, definitely, 100%. No doubt.
So it is Masterpiece movie. It is the fourth Masterpiece figure. So there are going to be others in this line that are coming out for I believe this time around.
I think
so that's fine.
The first two were the ones that Takara just reissued, Leader Bumblebee and Starscream, and then.
Oh really? Are they part of this?
No, both came out both came out ages ago.
See?
But both came out ages ago, but they started the numbering. Then
I mean, the Starscream would fit with this aesthetic and scale and stuff, because that one, the Leader class Starscream, of what I've heard, is pretty damn awesome. But then that Leader Bumblebee, nope, it's not going to fit anywhere else.
Right. We're going to move on. There's a couple of other things we need to talk about. One of them is not a million miles away from this, at least the character, and it is the Tokyo Toy Show exclusive Takara Transformers Legends Black Convoy. Mikey, tell me how much you like this figure.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's just got all the right amount of that translucent red and that tealy green or whatever it is, or aqua, whatever you want to call it.
So we are basically looking at the G2 Optimus Prime figure, which
it's third release.
It has been released here, hasn't it?
Yeah, I saw it today at Toys R Us. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So it is. I don't think Takara's actually released their version of that figure yet. So this might end up.
They haven't even shown it.
Yeah, this might end up being the first usage of the figure for Takara. And what a handsome look it is.
This is what this thing was designed to be. I know it's supposed to be Octane, obviously, because of the triple changer aspect, but the shoulders on this dude and just how the paint just works so perfectly on this, and it just
Yeah,
really brings out this character.
It might as well have been intended to be Scourge, because this just looks dead on to the character.
Perfect for that RID Scourge with his Sword of Fury, which is, I loved whenever they used their weapons in that RID show, they always used to yell out the name of their weapons, which was great. And I remember that Scourge's sword was called the Sword of Fury. So I actually personally adore RID 2001. Because I think it was one of my first Transformer experiences as well. So, but I wish this was coming out over here. This really, like, why couldn't they make the exclusive? Actually, no, they've been making, like, all of the Scourge repaints have pretty much been exclusive, so it shouldn't have been a surprise to us, because, like, that G2 Optimus Prime was a exclusive, I think, to the subscription service or something, but
yeah, and then they put it out at the Tokyo Toy Show again.
Yeah, they really don't like to give us Scourge for some reason.
And then they did Grand Scourge and Combiner Wars, but
yeah, exactly.
That was eHobby, I believe.
Yep. So they really don't like. No, I don't think we'll ever see a Scourge in retail.
But I think the problem is that we do see Scourge in retail, and he's a movie figure. He's a blue suite. So
he is a different character.
Maybe it would confuse people. I don't know. They could just give him a different name. Look, I like the colors. I like the look of it. I don't really like the fact that it is a triple changer, but whatever.
Yeah, you can't help that.
It's going to be in robot mode, right?
Yeah, I mean,
freaking robot mode, like the blue pinstriping and everything.
Yeah,
it just comes together so nicely.
You don't have to turn it into a jet, and you can completely conceal the wings in robot mode, as there's shown already. So I mean, the jet mode is just horrible on this figure, but the tanker mode looks really good. And this is actually probably the first Scourge, if I'm not wrong, that actually has incorporated the tanker into his transformation, because the original was just a cab. It's just G2 Laser Prime just painted up in black for that show. Yeah, I love this. This looks great. It looks stunning.
When is Tokyo Toy Show?
Tokyo Toy Show.
You got me.
All right, that's fine. We don't know, but I would suggest that when Tokyo Toy Show is on, start looking on eBay, because the prices you see after the event are probably the cheapest it's ever going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't going to be easy to get. Why do the coolest characters that just come in black just never get released? Like, we never get Nemesis's. Just.
Let's move on to some third-party news. Make Toys has been a little bit busy with Starscream lately. They've announced I think it was a Fall of Cybertron-inspired Starscream piece, and they have also shown this guy off, which is looking fairly G1 accurate. Does anyone know the size of this?
This is their MP Starscream. Yeah. It's part of their remaster series.
So Make Toys does have a habit for making quite cartoony, cartoon accurate, and in some ways comic accurate designs for their figures as well.
Yep.
This looks fantastic, assuming it holds, and yeah, everything remains right for its release from this prototype. I do think it's a little bit interesting that there's different tips of the cannons on offer. There's a different cannon on his left and his right arm, but it looks like the cannon itself is the same. It's the body of the cannon that's attached on a little hinge. The head
it just looks like the tip has broken off of the right one, which wouldn't surprise me given it's a resin prototype.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Yeah.
Or it could be just like, because I mean, this null ray obviously transforms from some kind of missile. Maybe they just want to give you the option for when you're in jet mode to have it more missile-like, I guess.
Maybe.
He looks great. He looks from these photos. I think they look better than the MP one.
Oh,
I think
that MP Starscream mold it looks atrocious compared to this.
Oh yeah, this is just.
Well, yeah, I think you have to remember the masterpiece. The masterpiece Starscream mold, and even in its MP11 form, does date back to the point where masterpiece figures were a more detailed update of a figure to a modern design and look, rather than sort of harking back to the cartoon. So, if Takara was to do Seekers now, maybe this is how they'd end up.
I don't want them to do Seekers now because I've just completed my Seekers, basically. Once I get Dirge, I've completed my Seekers, and I'm just leaving it there.
Yeah.
Let's move on. KFC has also revealed Horicons. I'm not personally a Horicon fan, but one of you guys was pretty buzzed in the pre-show for this. Was it you, Max?
Yeah, I'm not so much a Snapdragon guy, but G1 8-Face is my jam. Unfortunately, it's KFC, so if anything they've ever done is an indication, then it's not going to be very good quality.
I mean, the little tapes are pretty good.
KFC's quality, I think if you looked a couple of years ago, their quality might have been a little bit dodgy, but I mean, they've done figures since like Transistor. They've done their reflector is also quite good. You can see it on the shelf behind me. I think these days KFC's, and they also did the Junkions as well.
Yeah.
That's fair, but then
quality control and their
Blitzwing just hit, and their Blitzwing just hit, and apparently that's sort of them returning back to their old ways.
I just saw someone broke the turret off theirs. That does not bode well for that thing. I don't know why you wouldn't get the DX9 version, because that thing's just amazing. I
don't particularly care for it, but I don't have to. It's fine. You guys are welcome to.
They're just odd. You know, they've got the headmaster makes the beast former's head as well as the robot mode head, so that's just a unique thing about them. And they're a triple changer, and they're just weird. And I like these weird things, especially 8-Face. 8-Face is just 8-Face works a whole lot better than Snapdragon, and I think he always has.
Snapdragon's probably got a better looking robot mode, and the jet mode's alright as well, but that friggin' beast mode looks just garbage.
Yes, well.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's supposed to be an improvement on the original figure, not just, making it the same thing of all its all the same joints. Flaws.
Yeah.
The only knock I could really put on 8-Face is his headmaster seems a bit big. Other than that, these are two. Yeah, other than 8-Face's headmaster and Snapdragon's beast mode, these are two really nice looking figures.
I like Snapdragon's beast mode. I don't know. I like the weirdness. I prefer that the arms would probably be one color instead of purple, and I'd probably just prefer them to be purple or something. But yeah, I mean, good on them for not releasing something that's already been made. Just stepping out, like just getting out there and just like getting a weird, obscure characters like these are.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm surprised no one's got into these before, because I know there's quite a few people who do really like the Horicons, 8-Face especially. Yeah.
I wish I could get a hold of those G1 toys.
Yeah, like I love high quality versions of them. It's just a bit unsure given what I'm seeing here and what I've heard of KFC in the past. But I can appreciate that they're actually getting into this little niche portion of a fan base, which surprisingly no one else has addressed so far.
Do you think it's getting into that portion of the fan base because everyone else is doing the same thing over and over again? This is actually something new for them to address.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
maybe.
The first thing was Devastator Wars, and then you just got sick of Devastator. So I mean, just releasing something that just no one else has done. Like, Unique Toys won the Abominus Wars because they're the only people that put out Abominus, and then it was a really, really great figure. And then everyone else just decided to just keep on doing Devastators and other things combiner wise. But it just gets old when they keep repeated it, like just everyone just going for their own version of the same thing. So this is just fresh.
The best third party stuff comes when the companies are willing to sort of test out their own ideas and really explore the more creative aspect of the fandom. And that's why you have great stuff like you Make Toys Cross Dimension and whatnot. There's just people making the figures that they want to make, and they come out amazing.
Can I just before we move off on the Horicons, one of the comments from our own Craig Andrews on this comment was Chicken Bot and pass on the Dragon Look, and someone else. This was posted on a photo page from wherever this convention was held, and someone else just said those arms are an issue.
I mean, that's one way to describe them.
Yep. They don't look the greatest. Nah.
Hmm.
They're a little gimpy and they're just really badly coloured. I hate Allspark
Also,
blue.
Mikey, you were saying that they were just purple and teal. They're actually, you can't tell because they're like set up on the back section, but they've got another, like, there's another part above that, which is all in black. So it's this weird tri-segmented arm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought it stopped at the white, like where the white meets black. So it goes further.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're too long then. That's weird.
They are quite long. They look like a little T-Rex arm, you know.
Except with like I've seen this photo like T-Rex with those like extendy core arms and it says unstoppable and I love that thing. But like it seems like that. It just seems like he's got his arms and then he got the blue extensions now. Is that what they are? That's just weird. Okay, so they've got to like detract on that. Just take off the blue part and just give him little purple claws. I think that'll look better.
All right. That is actually the end of the news. Now, Max, Optimus Prime number 6 is out this week. Before we do move on and start talking discussions, do you want to talk about the Plague of Sharkticons that's on the front cover of Optimus Prime number 6 and give us your thoughts on the comic?
Yeah, so this comic is basically wrapping up the book's first arc. As you said, Jason, there's a lot of Sharkticons in this, and the cover reflects that. Just basically, hey, buy those Sharkticons we just put out.
When I looked at this cover, I just saw Sharknado. So I just saw a reference to Sharknado because it looks like they're coming up in like a swarm. So is that what they're referencing, or is it just a weird placement of the Sharkticons?
I mean, maybe. I guess it is that sort of shape, and then they came out of a Junkion ship, which is shaped like a tornado. So
yeah, true. Yep.
If you want to call that a Sharknado reference, I'm not going to stop you.
Meta.
So yeah, this is basically just the end of a conflict between the Earth forces and the Junkions, and also ends the secondary story set on pre-war Cybertron. I'd say this is excellent character development of both Prime and Jetfire, both in the present and in pre-war Cybertron. We get to see a lot of what happened with Jetfire, before he joined the Autobots. And so we get a lot of little bits of character, like a bit of a cliffhanger at the end, or Sideswipe. RC's fantastic as always. Really nice art on this book as well, which is pretty big high point, because I feel like
the art on the book has been really good. It's by Kei Zama.
Yeah, I was trying. Also
colored by Josh Burcham as well. So yeah.
Oh, like if Josh Burcham's coloring something, then it's going to look fantastic. But yeah, this is it's maybe not like the best written book that's out right now, but in terms of just how it looks, this thing's stunning. So yeah, I'd say this is at the end of this arc. They're going to move on to the next story, so I'd recommend jumping on from there, because this is a really solid series.
Did the Sharkticons like ever get character development, or are they just like minion type?
Mikey's completely obsessed with the Sharkticons.
I love Sharkticons. It's just so weird.
Given that I've read the book and some may have not, I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Oh, okay. Well, you can type that in the chat, so because I wouldn't know. God, I love them. They're just teeth upon teeth.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah. Couple of rows of teeth, always good. Let's move on. So we were going to have a good discussion tonight. We had a bit of a discussion during the week in the chat about the topic of Shellformers, but I think we are getting we record these on a Friday night, and it is getting a little bit late. So I think we might table the discussion on Shellformers until next week. And I think Brad wants to have. I think Brad would like to have a bit of a say on the topic of Shellformers as well. So I think he'll appreciate that. Let's move on and talk a little bit about new acquisitions for the week. Max, I think you might be the only one of us with new acquisitions. I purchased some comics from Shane Higgins, some of the old UK comics, but I do not have any new toys.
Oh. Well, I mean, I do believe I own some, which I picked up some, which I was jealous of you for getting a few weeks back. So we'll see.
If by a few weeks you mean a year, yes.
God, has it been? Christ. Time flies.
So I know it was about a year ago because it was when Kieran and I were both in Singapore and both picked up these sets that you're about to talk about.
Yeah, so I picked up just off of eBay the Shapeshift Inc. Legends class War for Cybertron style Ironhide and Starscream, which is I picked them up for about $30 shipped for the 2-pack, which is a really nice 2-pack. Actually, they're pretty much just spot on to the cartoon model. I mean, the game model, and they're superposable and all that sort of stuff you come to expect from your third-party Legends. But I think the big selling point here, other than being the only Legends scale War for Cybertron figures, is the paint. I'm not sure how it's going to show up on camera.
Nice on the paint. There's lots of shininess, and they are really well done.
Yeah, they've just paint. It's almost like a Rebel Tech where I think it's all cast into one plastic, but then they've just painted everything. And for the most part, solid paint, so it holds up well and just looks stunning.
Wish we got an Ironhide in that line.
That is Ironhide.
No, I mean in like the
the official
line. Yeah. But that one looks really good. Like I don't see why they couldn't have done it for because that's Ironhide.
I mean, if I would certainly be willing to purchase this if like a knockoff company wanted to upscale it into a deluxe, because
if you are listening to Shapeshift Inc., do feel free to upscale your mold yourselves before someone else does.
Yeah, well,
yep.
And if someone can make sure that Wei Jiang doesn't hear this suggestion, that would be good.
Yeah. They like their upsizes.
Everyone likes Wei Jiang's upsizes.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's if Shapeshift Inc. still exists, because they haven't really shown anything recently. They did tease that Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, but they haven't really revealed anything in the past 2 years. Mini Legend scale one.
Oh, nice. That would have been epic.
But then
imagine little Wolf Cybertron Dinobots versing that thing.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. And then because I'm an insatiable dickhead, I had to get the sort of stealth color versions as well. These I
gotta say, I quite like the stealth color. I mean, the Seeker's basically like a different Seeker at that point. It looks more like Thundercracker.
Yeah, it looks a bit like Thundercracker, but it's not Thundercracker, is it?
I sort of just treat him as Bitstream.
Nice.
It's pretty much not Bitstream in the slightest, but the Starscream especially, this is probably the nicest looking figure out of a whole bunch.
It's very beautiful. I love the blue. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and he's got all these little pink highlights of the thrusters and whatnot.
Oh, nice.
And then and then the Ironhide, which gives you a good look at his vehicle mode. It's just in straight up Nemesis Prime colors, and that works surprisingly well. The only issue with this guy is that you can't really have him hold the guns in his hands because they're entirely painted in like sort of a baby blue paint, and it just chips so easily.
Oh, that's a shame.
So you kind of got to do the movie verse, put them on the arms.
Yeah. But conversely, the rest of the figures mostly cast in like a black plastic, and unlike the others, they haven't painted over this. So instead it's got a really nice matte finish. So it looks friggin' gorgeous in hand. And then in terms of just like actual posability and whatnot, you've still got your ball joints everywhere. I mean, Sky Snake for Starscream's even got like ball jointed ankles. So
yeah, they are quite well done. So yeah, he can move around and his feet can move with him properly.
Yeah. And if you're not wanting to just get straight up repaints, then while the normal Starscream has, I think it's the Nucleon Charge Rifle, his sniper rifle from the game, the stealth version just has null rays. So you get that and you can stop him around a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, cool.
It's an excellent bunch of figures. Look them up on eBay because I saw there were a few of them going cheap.
Okay.
And of course, because I was at the comic and toy fair, you've got to be looking out for stuff at the toy fair. So picked up a Revoltech Megatron,
Nice.
which completes the Revoltech line for me. They're all very similar feeling figures, but I'd say he's probably the nicest of the bunch.
Yeah, I think his paint job makes it for me. I think we've lost Max.
You went all robotic for me for a second. What did you say?
I said I think the paint job makes makes Revoltech Megatron one of the best ones, and like Revoltech Prime is a little bit too cartoony, but Megatron doesn't. Megatron doesn't look over the top like a cartoon character.
Yeah, I feel in terms of the styling, I find Rodimus is just sort of ambiguous Rodimus style. For Prime and Magnus are very much based on Pat Lee's art, and then Megatron and Starscream, I guess we just envisioned to be just generic Megatron and Starscream, but despite coming out 10 years beforehand, they look dead on to their appearances in Transformers Devastation.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this is just Devastation Megatron, which works really well for me because I love that game.
Yeah, me too. I
love Megatron in that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a fun one.
It's just a fantastic romp. Figure that I've been chasing for quite a long time. Just $10 because it was covered in dust and none of the gimmicks worked. And then John Shock Blast.
Oh, nice.
Just sort of
right. Yeah, one of the first times we've seen the G1 Shockwave homage in one of the modern toy lines.
Yeah, and like he's just a massive bit of ratcheting, ab crunching, ankle tilting goodness. He feels ahead of his time. He's got this ridiculous cannon arm with
no posability, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's epic.
But
I love
it
that.
Splays out like that as a gimmick. It's built like a brick shit house. Like it's so solidly done.
And then his house cracks in two.
This would break. I felt my house would break before this thing breaks.
You can probably bludgeon someone with that.
Yeah, you probably could. I'm so happy to have tracked this down. I had it when I was a lot younger and sort of, lost to the sands of time.
It always happens.
Now to have this guy again is fantastic because it's just such a satisfying figure, and annoying chunky cannon arm aside, he's just holds up as a great figure nowadays.
And he's the only representation in the Unicron trilogy of Shockwave, isn't he?
Yeah, I do want to try and track down the 6-shot repaint of him, which is like in the sort of camo, like not quite camo, like sort of
I know
camo colors.
Yeah,
because that's basically just this, but more insane. But I've seen that go for quite a bit more. But for $10, I left him in a bath of soapy water overnight, and most of the dust is gone. And great figure.
God, that he just cuts you.
Occasionally, you just get a little drop of water emerge from the from within.
The electronics were working fine before you put him in the bath.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for taking us through those. It's a shame Mike and I don't have anything new, but
I got Repro labels. That's it.
Yeah, I've got some labels going too, actually. Look, let's quickly go through a little bit of housekeeping news. Supernova Gold Coast and Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair, as Max was alluding to earlier, they happened last weekend, and Brad has kindly loaded up some event photos into the galleries on the website. And it was a nice boost of new members into the Facebook group. So thanks very much, guys. It was much appreciated. Supernova Melbourne is this weekend, and Brad, Simon, Alan, and Chris will be hitting up Supernova, and Brad's been getting his Prime suit ready for its second outing this week. So if you are heading along, do check us out at table 117 in the alley. And if you are listening to the podcast on an actual podcast, that will mean nothing to you because the event will have already occurred. So too bad. But you will find photos of Supernova Melbourne on the website by the time you listen to this. So that is it for the show this week. I think we ended up with a nice discussion on some of the news. If we didn't get to our shelf warming discussion, we can put it on the shelf and see if it warms it until next week. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Hey!
Yeah. See where I went there. Australian Transformers Weekly is produced by Transformers Collectors Club Australia. You will find the TCCA website at transformerscca.com. You'll find links to the club's Facebook discussion group, the sales group, the YouTube channel, the Twitter page, and, of course, this podcast on there. And, of course, you can also find the podcast on iTunes, so please do head over there and give us a review. We will be back next week with another look at the latest Transformers news and how it relates to Australia, often at the cutting edge of Transformers toys distribution. Sometimes we get some things before the States. That's my definition of being at the cutting edge.
Sometimes.
Actually,
more often than not, to be honest.
Sometimes we do, yeah.
It doesn't matter. We're better anyway.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Indeed.
We don't have Mr. Trump.
I'm not going to go into politics. Thanks, Mikey. Let's not do the politics thing, and let's just wind the shop. So thank you for listening, everyone. And we will be back next week with episode 106.
Ooh, that is a number.
It's a fairly large number. But,
it is, yes. There you go. News.
I've also just realized I need to hit the stop broadcast button because Brad is not here.
Goodbye.